Are you totally different when it comes to sex and copulation? Have you judged yourself out of receiving pleasure? Have you judged yourself into receiving pleasure in certain ways and excluded other ways? Would you like to know more about what else is possible with bodies? Would you like to create confidence in the bedroom and beyond? How has your sex life or lack of it affected other areas of your life? Everyone has the potency to be a sexual superhero. Get ready to listen, sense, and play with the sexualness that is you. Now, here is the host of The Pleasure Zone, pleasure diva and body whisperer, Milica Jelenic.
Hello, beautifuls. Welcome to this installation of The Pleasure Zone. And this was a totally fly by the seat of my pants title, which I believe I sent to my fine producer / owner of the radio station at about 20 minutes ago. Yeah, that wasn't cool of me. No, it wasn't. And at the same time, I was like, am I going live? Am I not going live? What's going down, universe? Show me what's required. And this is where the title of Sex as the Answer came up. So my question is, are you choosing copulation from question or conclusion? So are you actually choosing it, for one? Some people don't even know that they can choose it. What a crazy thing. So before we dive deep into this topic, deep into the netherworlds of copulation and choice and answers and questions, I would really like to tell you a little bit about me, because I like to. So you've entered the zone of Milica, which means so many things, and it doesn't mean so many things at the same time. And how do I define myself so that I can undefine myself? Well, today I'm going to define myself as a body worker and a magic maker and a total creator of chaos. And that's all true. So what do I actually create in the world? Well, I work with bodies, and I work with bodies on many levels. I work with them physically through movement. I work with them energetically through touch and through not through touch, and I do it with different things that I utilize. So some of them are actual things I've trained in. Actually, everything I do is things that I've had some kind of training in. And then I add me to it. So it's kind of like if you went to school to kind of learn how to draw just the basics, like some basic form and function drawing, and then you take it to the next level by doing your own art with it. That's kind of what I'm talking about. So I have definitely learned techniques from some places, and then I've turned it into my own art. So instead of having a paint by numbers painting, I said, thanks for the canvas and thanks for learning how to put these colors together, and now I show up as me more and more every time, in every way, and in every single session that I actually choose to be part of. So it's really fun for me to be able to offer that to bodies on the planet. It's something that I'm aware that the more I get to contribute to bodies, the happier I am. It's kind of like there used to be a song, the more we get together, the more we get together, the happier we'll be. You know, there was this little song when I was little. I used to sing it in maybe that's just a song my teacher sang me, but that was a song I had in nursery school. And I just thought it was so happy and because the more we get together, the happier I be. So with people who come for sessions and friends and everyone, I have my moments where I don't like people, but then I have my moments where I really do like people. And generally, when I'm not liking people, it's just really I'm having a crusty day. But for the most part, I actually do like people. And even when I don't like their personality, sometimes I just really like their bodies. So, hey, it's cool. Because bodies are fun. So I'm so curious, how many of you out there have ever really known that sex is a choice? So, or have you just made it a non-choice thing? I wonder how many people go, oh, I have an erection. I've got to do something with this. Because I have an erection, it is required that I do something. Perhaps I'm required to copulate because I have an erection, says some men. Or for women, I am in the room with a man and he has an erection, therefore I'm required to do something about this. Or I'm in a room, with a woman and her nipples are erect. I need to do something about this. We draw a lot of conclusions with bodies when we see a body is turned on. And how much fun can you have knowing that you have choice with that? So what are you choosing? Are you choosing to have no choice? Are you choosing to have total choice? Are you tooting? Well, some of us are tooting, but are you also choosing to have total awareness, or even just a little more awareness than you had yesterday? So I'm really curious about that. And I'm wondering how much, tooting. It's like tooting and choosing at the same time, or like choosing and tooting at the same time. I'm not really sure, but tooting, it's a new word. And anybody out there who would like to use it, you are welcome. So I know that some people do use sex as an answer. Sex is like, okay, well, I'm crabby. The answer is sex. Sex will stop the crabbiness. Sometimes sex can be an awareness. Like you could be going, as like your body might feel, tension, or it might have intensities in it. It may feel less space than usual, and your awareness is that your body requires copulation. So that's different than the answer is sex. When in doubt, go to copulation, go to screwing, go to putting those body parts together, because that, my friends, is the answer to everything on the planet. Which is funny, because I know a lot of people who actually think that that is my answer to everything on the planet. It's not my answer. It's actually my awareness. And I do sometimes ask questions so fast, like flashing in my head, and the awareness comes up as, you know what, possibly your body would like really desire some nurturing, loving, caring, kindness, touch, and copulation. Like, and I might just be saying it really fast, like, why don't you go get screwed? Like, just for fun. Just have some fun. So a lot of times, though, sex coming from a conclusion or an answer to anything can be not as delicious as it could be if you were choosing it from question. So what does sex from the answer look like? Sex is the answer to everything. Sex is the answer to sex is, the answer to world peace too. It used to be sex, drugs, rock and roll. Those were the answers to everything. And now maybe that's changed. It might be, I think now it's like Instagram selfies and vagina slapping. That's like the new thing. Like vagina slapping, I recently heard, is like the new trend going on, where guys used to like do crotch slapping, like penis slapping, but now apparently girls do like some kind of vagina slapping. It's like the new teenager thing to do. I have no idea. I learned about this weekend from my friend Sabina. She was teaching me all about vagina slapping. We didn't slap each other's vaginas. She just let me know all about it. So yeah, it's different, right? So all you need is sex. I think really what the Beatles were saying was all you need is sex. So true, Keisha, because it is the answer to all things. And what if it's not? And when you actually go to conclusion on anything, it creates like a wonkiness. It creates, I don't know how else to describe it. It's like a wonky thing in the universe where it's like that creates a tunnel. Like anything that you have an answer on or a conclusion on anything, like sex is the answer. Now you've got like tunnel vision that 2 + 2 = sex. Could be, spaghetti plus sauce equals sex. Everything then becomes sex. Like sex is the answer to everything. And no matter what you try and put together, create, or add, like the only thing that you can even consider is sex. And I get that, that sometimes, people either that's all they have on their mind. It could be something that they're aware that other people have on their mind all the time. And so until you ask the question, truth, is sex the answer for me? And if you get that it is, then I'd ask another question, because if you get anything is the answer for you, something or other is messing with you just for laughs. So if you're looking for answers on anything, you are looking to have yourself stuck in the butt and basically have yourself just be impelled with information that will stop you from having possibilities. So if you actually think sex is the answer for you, please ask another question, especially if you're choosing consciousness. If you are saying that sex is your answer, then you will be choosing sex from contraction. You'll be choosing sex from a place where you are looking to contract your body in order to have orgasm. So there are different kinds of orgasms for sure. And I was recently reading in Salon de Femme by Gary Douglas. He was actually the inspiration for this show. That he wrote that most people create orgasm by creating an adrenaline pump, and that apparently if your husband's not like this particular woman he was talking to, the husband wasn't creating an adrenaline pump to create orgasm, but the woman was. And so what he did say is that sex and copulation is the gift you can be if you're willing to be it. But if you are trying to fulfill somebody's needs or to do something in particular, the easiest way to reach orgasm is by an adrenaline pump, which exhausts your body. And that's what most people have learned is good sex. Adrenaline is the greatest source for creating contraction. It's the way you supposedly get into fight or flight mode. If you contract, you withdraw into yourself, so you're ready to fight everyone else. And if you use contraction to create orgasm, you're not with your partner. You separate from your partner, and you're not expanding his sex or your sex. You're contracting from the sex in order to create the completion of it, as though sex should be a completion. And that line right there, as though sex should be a completion, was actually the inspiration for the show. Sex as completion, where it is like literally you're looking for the contractive orgasm to be the end-all result of your actions. And what else is possible, people? Because we really have so many more ways of being with bodies available, and have always been available that we haven't chosen. So I really encourage you to play with a bunch of different ways that just play with a bunch of different ways that you could be with bodies. And I'm not saying that there is one right way. There are many ways that you can be with a body that would be fun for you. And if the adrenaline pump, adrenaline rush completion is really fun for you, choose it. And if you're wondering what else is possible, like, yes, this is fun, and, well, what else is possible, then please explore that, because there's a whole world out there to add to your sex and copulation and enjoyment of your body. There's so many things you can add to that. So really encourage you to play with these things so that you're not just coming from one definition of what is available for sex. And I've spoken to a few people who, one woman in particular who was telling me that her favorite thing to do is have sex in places where she has the greatest chance of getting caught. Sex for her in a bedroom is totally boring. Sex for her anywhere other than a place where she might get caught is really boring for her. And so much of what she's creating is that adrenaline rush of completion. Let's get this over with. And she's her body is very aware. It's that she hasn't really put the puzzle pieces together maybe yet. So I'm I'm going to likely have a chat with her soon because I have to meet up with her for some things. And I'm going to ask her about the adrenaline rush on that and see if she's willing to actually play with sex in a totally different way. And for you too, if you're somebody who really gets off on the adrenaline rush, maybe it's getting caught, whatever that happens to be that creates the adrenaline pump rush for you, just really play with that and see what else is possible other than the adrenaline pump rush of orgasm. Is I personally know that there's something else possible. So I'm going to let you guys play with that, explore that, what else is possible, for a whole 2 minutes while we go off to break. When we come back, we're going to have more on sex. Is it truly the answer? What else is possible after this break?
Many of us have created a lot of limitations around sex and what we are willing to choose. What else is possible beyond what we have already seen, heard, or thought of? What if now is the time for a totally different sexual revolution, taking the taboo out of all aspects of sex, sexuality, and copulation by tuning in to the Pleasure Zone radio show with body whisperer Milica Jelenic. You'll receive tools, inspiration, and a foundation to allow yourself to receive more in your sex life and quite possibly other areas of your life as well. Listen for the Pleasure Zone with Milica every Monday at 8 p.m. Eastern Time, 7 p.m. Central Time, 6 p.m. Mountain Time, and 5 p.m. Pacific Time on InspiredChoicesNetwork.com.
What if there's nothing wrong with you? What if you're far greater than you've ever given yourself credit for? What if it's time to know the gift and the contribution you are to the world and to like yourself a lot more? Hi, my name is Dane here. 13 years ago, I started to truly ask questions. Actually, I started to be the question, and everything changed for me. Asking questions opens doors to infinite possibilities. And it's not about finding the answer. It's about being the question. Always. What I'm inviting you to step into is something that Einstein, Marie Curie, Newton, Da Vinci, Gandhi, Picasso, and Aristotle all knew to be true. What if no question is too big or too small? What if anything is possible for you? What if together we could create a kinder, gentler, happier world? Is now the time? Go to beingyouclass.com and sign up for a free video series, My Gift to You. beingyouclass.com. What if you, truly being you, are the gift and change this world requires? beingyouclass.com.
This is the Pleasure Zone with body whisperer Milica Jelenic. To participate in the program today, please call in the U.S. Call 815-880-8255. That's TALK. Or Canada 613-800-8736. Or you can Skype us at Inspired Choices Network. You can also make the choice to ask or comment by email at milicajelenic.com. Now back to the program.
Hello, everyone. Back to the Pleasure Zone we go. So, if you were 5 feet away from the Pleasure Zone and you could take 5 more steps into the Pleasure Zone, how much more pleasurable would your life be? I'm just curious. Because I think so many of us actually step out of that pleasure zone in our lives and we draw conclusions about things. We assume, we create things as the answer, like if I see so-and-so, if I have sex with such and such or so-and-so, my life will be so much better. Really ask some questions. So all the conclusions you have about the perfect sex, our sex being the answer, will you please destroy and uncreate all that times a godzillion? Right, wrong, good, bad, pot, all nine, shorts, boys, and beyonds. For you people who are totally new to this station, welcome. That is the Access Clearing Statement that you can find on theclearingstatement.com. We're just talking to the energies and having some fun, clearing some stuff that we have on this planet as limitations, So if we've created sex as the answer, anything that is the answer to us is actually a conclusion and a limitation. So everywhere that you go to conclusion, you create a limitation, and it will, just create a pile of more trickiness and difficulty and poop. If you like poop, choose it. And if you're looking to create more ease, fun, and joy, just play around with some concepts that might actually be like playing with questions. Like, how much fun could you actually have playing with questions? It might create more for you. Just play with it and see what shows up. So, how many of us are so used to drawing conclusions about everything? So all the decisions, judgments, conclusions, and computations about sex being the answer to everything. Will you destroy and uncreate all that times a godzillion? Right, wrong, good, bad, pock, pot, all that, shorts, boys, and beyonds. Ugh. It's funny. 141 episodes into this show, and I think it's the first time that I actually did the clearing on sex as being the answer to everything. I'm slow, and I'm cute, but eventually I get there. I'm like, the turtle that runs the race. I sometimes cross the finish line before those ones that are running faster than me, but I do get there. I do get there slowly but surely. So what else is possible? And I'm wondering, too, if you are with somebody and they are somebody who is really great at drawing conclusions, like sex is the answer, sex is the answer, sex. Oh, yeah, we got to do this, we got to do this, we got to do this. This clearing could actually be great foreplay. As my friend Keisha says in the chat room, this could be really great for foreplay. So all the decisions, judgments, conclusions, and computations that you have as sex as the answer, will you destroy and uncreate all of that times a godzillion? Whew, right, wrong, good, bad, pot, all nine, shorts, boys, and beyonds. So it's really funny because we do this. We do this so often. We might even make money the answer. Sex and money are the answer to all the problems on the planet, So everywhere that you've put those together, sex and money, as the answer to every problem you've ever had, will you destroy and uncreate all that times a godzillion? Whew, right, wrong, good, bad, pock, pot, all nine, shorts, boys, and beyonds. This is like, it's wiping out my brains. It's not a bad thing. I like wiping out my brains. We're just going to do that again because holy lifting. So all the decisions, judgments, conclusions, and computations that you have about sex being the answer to everything in your world, will you now destroy and uncreate all of that times a godzillion? Right, wrong, good, bad, pock, pot, all that, shorts, boys, and beyonds. And all the projections, expectations, separations, judgments, and rejections that you have with sex and copulation, will you now destroy and uncreate all that times a godzillion? All right, wrong, good, bad, pock, pot, all that, shorts, boys, and beyonds. Whoa. So sex as the answer. We're adorable. So if we think sex is the answer, what if sex can be the question? So everywhere we are refusing to have sex be and copulation be in question rather than conclusion, will you now start to be more aware of where we could actually be the question and destroy and uncreate everywhere that we're not being the question? Right, wrong, good, bad, pock, pot, all that, shorts, boys, and beyonds. Wow. And it's got such a different energy, right? When I say, and for those of you who are not aware of energy, that's cool. Just listen to this and see what kind of crackerjack information I come up with. Because there's always something in this show. So when I say, sex is the answer, or if I say, hey, what if sex could be the question? Which one is more enticing to you? Which one draws you in more? Which one kind of almost can be a little intimidating, like, ooh, sex is the question. I don't know what that is. What is that? I'm curious. I'm a little almost like, am I afraid? What am I? Intrigued? Afraid? I don't even know what I'm experiencing right now. Or sex is the answer. Oh, okay. Well, if sex is the answer, well, it's going to look like A, B, and C, because A, B, and C equals sex. Okay. All right. Okay, we're done now. Have a nice day. Or it's like sex is the question. Ooh, what is sex? What is copulation? What does that mean? What does it mean to me? What does it mean to you? What does it mean to our bodies? What do we mean to it? What does our bodies mean to it? What's going on? There's this whole world of exploration that shows up. And to me, one of the greatest contributions to my body with copulation is exploration. And, if sex is the answer, then it's like you also have concluded that sex with a certain person will be the answer as well. So everywhere you've concluded that sex with Mr. Perfect or Mrs. Perfect will be the answer to all of life's mysterious problems, will you now please destroy and uncreate all that times a godzillion? All right, wrong, good, bad, pock, pot, all nine shorts, boys and beyonds. Yeah, everywhere that copulation with Mr. or Mrs. Perfect is the answer to your utopian universe, so that you will have the most utopian world possible. That's so vomit, I'm almost puking. Will you now destroy and uncreate all of that times a godzillion? Right, wrong, good, bad, pock, pot, all nine shorts, boys and beyonds. Wow. And so why does perfection and Mr. or Mrs. Perfect make me puke? Because really there's no question in it. And it's so total conclusion, and it's such being impelled. If you're being impelled as Mrs. Perfect or Mr. Perfect, then you are never allowed to be anything other than what you are showing up as in that 10 seconds to that person. So that person meets you, they've decided you're Mr. or Mr. Perfect, impelled that point of view on you. You buy that point of view as being true. Now you are Mr. or Mrs. Perfect, and you will try, because you care about them so much, you will try to maintain exactly how you be in order to have them love you for all eternity, and everything that brings up will you destroy and uncreate all of that times a godzillion. Right, wrong, good, bad, pot, all that shorts, boys and beyonds. Well, the show always cracks me up because it's rare that I get callers, which is totally cool, because I get it. This is a different kind of topic, and I get people will even tell me, I listened to your show the other night, and I'm like, that's cool. I can't tell who's listening or not listening to the show, so it's kind of neat. And I don't always get people in the chat room. Sometimes I do, and I'm totally cool with that too. So it's really funny for me to play with all these energies that are coming up, because I so get to perceive all the people listening now and in the future, and for me that's such a gift, such a gift that I get to do this and get what is coming up for people now and in the future. It's so cool. I love it. I love being on the radio with you guys. So yeah, the perfect mate and the perfect sex. If I just have sex this way, it's going to be the best sex I've ever had, and it's going to be the answer to all of my fantasies and everything that I ever desired. And if I have everything I ever desired, then I'll be sure to have everything I ever desire forevermore, even though I've never actually chosen any more than what I just chose. It's really cute. And what else is possible? So everywhere that you have done that, been that, chosen that, perpetrated that, bought that as real and true, and then told other people that it's real and true because you just thought it was a great idea, will you now destroy and uncreate all of that? Awesome. Right, wrong, good, bad, pot online, shorts, boys, and beyond. I'm a huge fan of not being perfect, because for me it creates so much more fun. So when you're willing to be a total fuck up, and you're willing to be a total screwball, and you're willing to not have any answers, you can have a lot more fun than if you are the person who thinks that you have to have all the answers. Now, even if your job is to sort of so-called have answers, like doctors, like lawyers, a lot of people in their jobs are required to have so-called answers, yet some of the greatest jobs that would say require answers, like engineers, for example, they are in the question all the time, what can I do here? What's required here? If we put these together, what will that create? Is this possible? How can we create this on this planet? They are actually unconsciously or consciously always asking questions in order to create. And truly great surgeons are also always in the question when they are actually in surgery. They're so totally present in their jobs, and they're so totally present with the body that they are operating on, that they are required to be completely and totally present and totally in the question. What's required now? What's required now? What's required now? Because if they came to any conclusion that A plus B plus C will be the perfect surgery, they will never be able to actually be aware of where, say, something shows up that they didn't expect. They won't know what to do if they're not in the question and asking what's required now, what's required now, what's required now, what's required now, what's required now. So they're actually completely and totally present, even though it looks like their jobs might have total conclusion. My awareness is that they're actually so totally present and so totally aware that if they weren't, they couldn't be amazing at what they do. So would you be willing to be that kind of tenacious with being present and being the question and in the question, so that you can actually have a totally different kind of sex with your body and copulation, enjoyment and pleasure with your body that you never knew was possible? So everything that doesn't allow that, destroy and uncreate it all. Right, wrong, good, bad, pot, all nine, shorts, boys and beyonds. And we're going to head to commercial break right now, and when we come back, more on sex as the answer after this commercial break.
Many of us have created a lot of limitations around sex and what we are willing to choose. What else is possible beyond what we have already seen, heard, or thought of? What if now is the time for a totally different sexual revolution, taking the taboo out of all aspects of sex, sexuality, and copulation by tuning in to the Pleasure Zone radio show with body whisperer Milica Jelenic. You'll receive tools, inspiration, and a foundation to allow yourself to receive more in your sex life, and quite possibly other areas of your life as well. Listen for the Pleasure Zone with Milica every Monday at 8 p.m. Eastern Time, 7 p.m. Central Time, 6 p.m. Mountain Time, and 5 p.m. Pacific Time on InspiredChoicesNetwork.com.
What would you say if I told you that you could change your life in only 1 hour, and all while lying down relaxing? Thousands of people all over the world have. What am I talking about? It's called Access Consciousness, the bars. The bars is an energetic body process that contains 32 different points on your head that, when run, assist you in releasing decisions about any area of your life that you have made solid and as a result cannot change. The bars is the first class in Access Consciousness, a dynamic set of tools and information designed to transform any area of your life. When you have a bars session, the worst that can happen is you feel like you had a fantastic massage. The best thing that can happen is your whole life could change. Go to accessconsciousness.com today to find a facilitator, to schedule a private session, or to find a bars class in your area. Are you willing to give yourself an hour to change your life?
This is the Pleasure Zone with body whisperer Milica Jelenic. To participate in the program today, please call in the U.S. Call 815-880-8255. That's TALK. Or Canada, 613-800-8736. Or you can Skype us at Inspired Choices Network. You can also make the choice to ask or comment by email at milicajelenic.com. Now back to the program.
Hello, beautifuls. Welcome back to this episode of The Pleasure Zone. And you guys are awesome and crazy and awesome for choosing this show. Just as I think I am crazy and awesome for choosing to continue to speak on its behalf. What? Yes, that's right. I speak on the show's behalf because I can hear the show. Can you hear the show? Okay, well, I'm speaking on the show's behalf. So for tonight, the topic is sex as the answer. It is not the final frontier, and it is not the answer, my friends, but it does have a certain thing where people do think that it is that. And so I'm not saying you're wrong. I'm just saying, like, if you make sex your answer to anything, then you are really cutting off your awareness to what else could contribute to you, your life, your money inflows, your body, your joy, your flowers growing, your composter rotting, like all of that. There's so many things that could actually contribute to your life and other things in your life and around you. The birdies chirping and having fun and your cat meowing. Like, there's so many things that can contribute to us that if we make sex the answer, then nothing else can show up. And for those of you who are like, well, that's all I want. I only want sex to show up. Cool. I'm not saying that's wrong. And if sex is the only thing showing up, you might find that money doesn't show up, that health doesn't show up, that other things don't show up when sex is the only thing that you're allowing to show up. And it's cute. And also when you don't allow copulation to show up in your world too, it also is a conclusion. I don't want that. That's awful. And I'm looking for the right person, and I'm not just willing to have sex with just any old anybody. Well, that's really interesting, because half the time when people are not willing to have sex with any old anybody, they also aren't really willing to even touch their own bodies or enjoy their own bodies, so they don't even let themselves be any old anybody. It's cute, but I don't know, you've got a body, so touch it. Okay, just saying. So what would be fun? What would it be fun? Would it be fun? So one of the questions is, if you're not doing sex from sex as the answer, how can you actually have copulation from the question? What a crazy concept. So here's a little ditty again from Gary Douglas from the Salon des Femmes book, which I'm now choosing to read. It's actually a book that I had on my nightstand for about 2 years, and I would flip through and I'd go, okay, whatever. It's a book I've been so avoiding dynamically that I get that there's something in this for me so much that I'm choosing it. And I'm choosing it so much that I'm actually going to have a book club for it to get myself accountable to actually, it's for my own accountability, not to be accountable to anybody else. But I know that if I'm actually going to choose to be whatever it is that I'm avoiding choosing, that's in this book that I've been avoiding reading, then I get that this will assist. So for any of you out there who are curious, would like to know more about the Salon des Femmes book, whether you have it or don't have it, and you would like to sit in on the conversations with it, yes, please contact me through Facebook. Just send me a message. Hey, I'm interested in your Salon des Femmes thing. And you might find in the next week or so that I will be putting up some information about that. I just haven't chosen dates yet. It's really in my awareness, and it's been yelling at me for a few weeks now. So yes, me and the Salon des Femmes. We will see what shows up. So Gary talks about this sex from an expansive place, and this is what he says. The expansive element of sex is about recognizing that the purpose of sex is not creating the adrenaline that causes orgasm, but creating the orgasmic quality of life and living, which is about the joy and choice of possibilities. There's so much information in that one run-on sentence that it's quite phenomenal. The fact that a lot of us have never even probably considered sex as the adrenaline rush, even though your body is going through that, the intensity, the build up, and then the breath, there's that kind of orgasm, and then there's this totally different other kind of orgasm. So how fun is that, that you can orgasm as the quality of life and living and joy of choice and possibilities. And he also says you not only have to get you off, but you also have to get your partner off as well. And what if you were looking to get your partner to a place of greater possibility through sex? What a freaking amazing, I love that too. It's just we have so many times focused on copulation as the body parts rubbing together, having the climax so that you have some kind of release or relief in your body so you can have that adrenaline rush, so that you can have the adrenaline go really up high, so that it can go really down low, so that you can actually relax and go to sleep. Or that you're stressed, so you need to copulate in order for your body to kind of have a rest and then relax and go to sleep, So it's kind of, it can be kind of intense, really. So, and you can actually have an intensity of space, which is completely different than an intensity that comes from contraction. How do you know the difference? So one of the ways is to ask a question. Is this the intensity of space that I truly be, and is this an intensity of contraction that I am creating? And how do you know? Just check. One will seem more true to you than the other, and what else is possible. So you not only have to get you off, but you have to get your partner off, right? So many people have that sense of obligation. It's just, it's their job to get themselves off, get their partner off, or get their partner off first, then they can get themselves off. And even in their head, they can get kind of heady about it, getting in their head and going, oh yeah, did I do this? Oh yeah, was it enough? Was it enough? Oh, what about this? So what about that? It can get really, really heady. So please be aware of your body when you copulate, and be present with your body. It's actually a kindness to be present with your body. It's such a crazy concept, I know. So, and getting your partner to a place of greater possibility through sex. Wow. So how many people have actually had, how many of you out there, my listener friends, how many of you have ever actually had, have copulated in a way that has created greater possibilities for you, has facilitated greater possibilities for others? And if you have, what kind of amazing capacities do you have with sex, copulation, and bodies that maybe you weren't even aware of? And maybe you are aware of, because some of you are pretty aware listeners. So how many of you are aware of how magical you are with bodies, and that you are healing bodies through copulation? So in that case, some people may choose you as sex as the answer, and you may be like, oh, okay, their body requires it, so I'll do it because sex is the answer for them, so I'm going to do it. No, you still have choice no matter what. Even if your body has the capacity to heal another body, and that body requires some maybe assistance or contribution, you don't actually have to copulate to be the contribution. And this is coming from the Pleasure Zone host herself. You don't actually have to copulate in order to contribute to a body, even if you have capacities to facilitate healing through sex, or to be a sexual healer. So it's not required. Sex and copulation should be about creating greater possibilities, not about getting completion. So if sex and copulation began, what a concept to even play with is that if on this planet we were truly choosing to have sex to create greater possibilities, what would that contribute to your life? If sex was creating greater possibilities for your business, for your body, for your family, for your home, for your pets, for your everything, if you copulating actually created greater possibilities for everyone and everything on the planet, isn't that awesome? That's just fun. Now, if sex is about completion and getting off, and now your body is had the adrenaline rush and then it's over, which one is way more fun to you? And for some of you, you're just maybe you don't care about others as much, or you don't really care to contribute to the planet and others. That's cool. You don't have to. Probably a good half of you out there probably are I don't really care, it's all about me. And then there's the other half of you out there that are yes, I would really love to contribute to bodies. It makes me so happy when I contribute to people, the planet, anything, everyone, cats, dogs, trees. And it just brings you such joy of embodiment to be able to contribute. And some people really don't care to. It's just not who they be. And that's okay. Neither is right or wrong. And I'm just saying, for those of you who that is true for you, that contributing to bodies is super fun, please be in the question. You guys are the ones I'm talking to about being in the question, because you guys are the ones who are truly choosing to contribute to others, and that brings joy to you. So you have choice with sex. You just know that you also have choice. And even if a body is demanding, asking, or desiring some kind of facilitation and healing, you're not obligated. You can still choose, and your body can contribute to it in many ways that don't even require copulation. So what contribution can you and your body be to facilitate ease for your body and other bodies for all eternity, and everything that doesn't allow that, destroy and uncreate it all, right, wrong, good, bad, pot, all nine shorts, boys and beyonds. We know we have this, and you know that when you are being the gift like that, and you are contributing to bodies and the planet and other people's joy and pleasure, that you know that you're being that. And as my friend Christine McIver is on a big movement to up people's ask, please ask the universe. Go, universe, you know what? Thank you so much for, being part of this, for contributing to me, for bringing the people whose bodies I can contribute to. And now I'm really willing to receive for this. So thank you so much. Universe, I'll have the money now, please. And the universe is like, cool. Oh my God, she's asking for payment. Wicked. We'll bring her money. So the universe is just so cool. And another really cool conversation too was when you do ask, just also know that when you are asking, universe is conspiring. It's getting everything in order to bring what you like out. And Heather Nichols, actually a friend of mine, named Arcel, was telling me about an email she read from a woman that we know, Heather Nichols, who said, it's like going into a restaurant. If you're ordering from the universe, you're going into a restaurant and you're saying, universe, may I have this now, please? And the universe is like, yes, sure, we'll be right up. So if you go into a restaurant, do you trust that they're going to bring you out what you ordered? Most of the time they do. Sometimes the order shows up a little different than what you asked for. But the funny thing is, it's usually what your body asked for, even though that might not be what your mouth asked for. So just being aware of that, chances are the order is in, the universe is working on it, and will get it to you. So if that's something you'd like, is to contribute to bodies, and then you are contributing to them and would like to receive in return for that, please ask. So some things to play with there, right? Lots of things to play with there. We're going to actually head to our last and final commercial break of this evening. Sneevening is a new word too. Tooting and sneevening are two new words from today's show. And we will be right back after this commercial break.
Many of us have created a lot of limitations around sex and what we are willing to choose. What else is possible beyond what we have already seen, heard, or thought of? What if now is the time for a totally different sexual revolution, taking the taboo out of all aspects of sex, sexuality, and copulation by tuning in to the Pleasure Zone radio show with body whisperer Milica Jelenic. You'll receive tools, inspiration, and a foundation to allow yourself to receive more in your sex life and quite possibly other areas of your life as well. Listen for the Pleasure Zone with Milica every Monday at 8 p.m. Eastern Time, 7 p.m. Central Time, 6 p.m. Mountain Time, and 5 p.m. Pacific Time on InspiredChoicesNetwork.com. This is the Pleasure Zone with body whisperer Milica Jelenic. To participate in the program today, please call in the U.S. Call 815-880-8255. That's TALK. Or Canada, 613-800-8736. Or you can Skype us at Inspired Choices Network. You can also make the choice to ask or comment by email at milicajelenic.com. Now back to the program.
Hello, everyone. Welcome back to the Pleasure Zone. I'm your host, Milica Jelenic, and tonight's topic has been sex as the question. Actually, sex is the answer, and I prefer sex as a question. So, sex as a question, what is that? Because sex for so long has been identified as two, the body parts going together, whether it's two women, two men, man and woman, multiple people. That has been sex for most of this, most people's definition of it. And that's the copulation. That's those body parts slapping together. And so if sex and copulation were from question, what would that totally change in our universes? Would you actually be able to copulate with people without actually touching them? would you be able to copulate with people while you dream and sleep, and or in different dimensions, or do you have a capacity to copulate with and in different ways and be a contribution to their physical body through your beingness, whether you put your body parts together or not? How many ways can you actually contribute to a body or bodies that you haven't even considered yet, because you haven't played with the question, what would be fun? Bodies. Like, what would be so fun for you that you have never, ever experienced yet? And if sex was a question for you, what would that question be? Would the question be maybe what would be fun? What would be interesting? What would be intriguing? What would excite you? What would you enjoy? What would increase your money inflows, body? Like, what kind of fun questions could sex and copulation be for your body? And what question is sex for your body? What question is choosing that for you? And what questions haven't you asked that, you've looked back on, maybe choices you've made and you went, oh my God, I don't know what I was thinking when that showed up in my life. Well, I don't know what you were thinking either, but did you ask any questions? Or were you just going on autopilot, like body turned on, therefore I must do my job and fulfill the requirement of the turned on body? So whether your body's turned on or their body's turned on, do you go to like a robot response and just think you have to do it and there's no question? And how much fun can question be? Because question for me can be such a great way to expand things. It can be such a great way to also be very intimidating, because people sometimes shy away from questions. But if you're willing to be, and actually we'll have a guest on in the next couple of weeks, we're going to be talking about being sexually intimidating. And to me, there is such a gift in the question that when you're truly willing to have sex from the question, you can find out so much more about the body and the body that you're with. And one of the questions that I totally encourage you to ask, even if you've been with a partner repeatedly, years, months, decades, is to ask, will this be fun? Like, even if you're re-choosing a partner over and over and over and over again, first find out, are you choosing it, or are you on autopilot and have decided and concluded this is great sex and forgot to ask the questions? Even though I'm married, I still ask the question, will this be easy? Will this be fun? Will this increase my money inflows? Because I switched that from will I learn something? Because I always learn something. Learning is like breathing for me. And will they be grateful, and will I be happy? All of those, and STDs. You never know. Your body could have old ones that show up. So always ask questions, regardless of how many times you've been with a person. And it's so fun because you will know. Sometimes there are days where it's just like, well, all of those except for the money inflows, it's not going to increase my money inflows. Well, and it doesn't mean that they have to slap you cash in hand, although that can be fun too. It can just be that the energy that you are being is actually what Gary was talking about there, which is that whole expanding and creating greater possibilities for you. Greater possibilities includes money. So please ask that. Will this actually increase your money inflows? Even if you've been married to this person for years and years, or been, dating, or been long-term partners, it's such great questions to ask. Please do not take for granted that this person is the one for you, even though you've been thinking they are, choosing that they are. Ask some questions, and please have awareness instead of conclusions. And I really want to thank all of you for listening today. I'm so glad that you were listening.
Thank you for choosing to listen to The Pleasure Zone. Milica Jelenic will return next Monday at 8 p.m. Eastern Time, 7 p.m. Central, 6 p.m. Mountain, and 5 p.m. Pacific on InspiredChoicesNetwork.com. We hope you'll join us. Until then, have the best week of your life by choosing to be turned on and tuned in to your body.